Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a suspense mystery film, Advance Notice Criminal. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a man wearing a newspaper mask on his head. He explains that whatever he's doing, he isn't doing it for himself and claims that he'll change the world. The Metropolitan Cybercrime Division takes notice of this specific man, who goes by the name Paperboy. His third video talks about setting fire to Meals RG Sun, a company responsible for mass food poisoning the month before. Despite the number of people who had gotten sick because of their products, the company didn't experience any repercussions. While in a discussion about possibly tracking the IP address of Paperboy, someone announces that there's news about the fire that happened at Meals RG Sun. The group walks closer to listen. While watching the show, someone notices Paperboy standing in the crowd with his thumbs up. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, the team decides to watch the first two videos Paperboy released. In his first video, he targeted the first victim, a part-time cook at a restaurant. The man liked putting fried roaches on their customers' dishes. We see the first victim bound on a chair, with Paperboy cooking him a meal out of deep-fried roaches. While streaming live, he forces the other man to eat the roaches. His second victim posted a tweet, blaming an abused victim for what happened to her. Upset with his words, Paperboy decides to give him a taste of what the girl went through. The police track down the second victim, and he recounts what Paperboy does to him. While streaming again, he molests the second victim. The man discloses that not only did the police not help him, but they also tease him for what happened. The second victim confesses that the harassment continues and points out that he didn't deserve any of it. The lead detective, called Ms. Detective, leans closer and reminds him that he followed someone without asking where they were going. He must be asking for it, which is the same comment he posted about the abused victim. The group gets a lead on the location of where the recent video was uploaded. They end up in a Pip-Boy cyber cafe in Kanagawa. They find the computer and confirm that it was used. However, according to the cyber cafe staff, nobody rented the computer that night. They speculate that the computer was either hacked or a script was used to make sure that the video was uploaded that day. But the cyber cafe staff explain that it's impossible, since computers are formatted after every use and they have OTP tools to ensure the security of their network. Naively, the cyber cafe staff acknowledges that only a handful of them could have uploaded the video through their network. This gives the police enough reason to take him back to the station. Just outside, a man who we can only presume to be Paperboy watches as the police arrest the cyber cafe staff. He whispers that they were faster than he thought they were going to be, before walking away. Paperboy's blog's getting popular, since everybody sees him as a vigilante, determined to keep the public safe. His third victim is an employee of Tokyo Web. The reason he's a target is that he publicly ridiculed a potential candidate for his company. Paperboy argues that nobody should humiliate someone for working on improving their situation, and because of this, he deems the third victim deserving of his special brand of punishment. The police move twice to save the third victim. However, Paperboy already has him in his clutches, and the minute it strikes 12 midnight, he begins the stream. On camera, he starts beating the third victim up with a metal baseball bat. The police finally figure out that the Pip-Boy cyber cafes are a red herring, and the feed is actually coming from an apartment in Kamada. Unfortunately, when the police arrive, it's another false trail. They eventually find the place in an empty room in a rented apartment. The third victim is beaten but alive. The metal baseball bat turns out to be plastic. After comparing the second and third victims' tormentors against each other, the police realize that they're two different perpetrators, which could mean that there are more of them. We find out a little about the background of one of the Paperboys named Okuda. During work, his co-workers find out that he's close to being permanent in their company. His boss overhears this and decides that this is the perfect time to criticize him in front of everyone, as well as dump a big project on him before he clocks out. While working overtime, Okuda accidentally falls asleep and is caught by his boss. He gets demoted and ends up doing janitorial work at the office. While on break, he accidentally stumbles upon posts from his senior coworkers, all of them insulting him. Okuda leaves his job. He has a hard time finding a new one since he doesn't have a degree. He ends up doing manual labor work for cheap at an illegal garbage dump site. After their work that night, Okuda hangs out with his fellow laborers. They talk about how they ended up with the job they're currently on. We meet Nobita, who is working for the first time ever, Karnsai, who wants to be a musician, Metarbo, who's big-bellied, and Hayuro, who came from the Philippines and is looking for his father. Hayuro then shows them an OTP tool he had gotten while working as a janitor at Cyber Cafe. Another video is released, but this time no prediction, but rather Paperboy delivering a speech about keeping one's dignity. He admits that he can't solve everyone's problems. He ends the recording by promising to kill for the audience and encourages everyone not to suffer in silence any longer. Another prediction is made, but someone other than the usual Paperboy does it. He announces that someone will be killed in Shinagawa Station. It turns out to be a copycat crime that is running rampant due to his influence. The government sends someone from the House of Justice, named Mr. Justice, to speak on the situation of Paperboy. He announces that giving people the chance to be anonymous encourages everyone to act with misdeed, and comments that poor people use it for evil purposes, hinting that they believe the crimes are being committed by lesser citizens. He proposes that moving forward, everyone should be required to provide an ID whenever they create an account, which would discourage anonymous messages and create an environment where anyone can feel at ease. For his 5th video, Paperboy announces that he will be targeting Mr. Justice since he is a threat to the internet, as the public is entitled to use the network freely. This threat is taken seriously, since the target is an important member of the parliament. The police go all out on safety measures. With the help of the Public Safety Division, the police determine the identity of Nelson Kato Ricard, who turns out to be Hayuro. Wanting to keep up appearances, Mr. Justice attends an event for a newly released energy drink. As everybody starts opening up their bottle, some of them start exploding after the drink interacts with a couple of mints that are released after turning the cap. The police are immediately pinged to Paperboy's location as he does another broadcast. What plays is a video of a small group of people working to fake the results of the poll that Mr. Justice had proposed, which had ended with a ton of votes in his favor. It seems they didn't mean to literally kill him, but rather his political career. The police catch up on Paperboy at the Pip-Boy cyber cafe he's using. A chase ensues. While running after who they think is Paperboy, Ms. Detective recognizes Okuda and runs after him instead. He eventually loses her at the Canal River, but it's a close call. The Paperboy they arrest is the Pip-Boy cyber cafe manager of the Roppongi branch. We find out that he had informed Okuda that all Pip-Boy cyber cafe have been alerted to keep an eye out for him. Back at the precinct, the detective partner, who's mostly the brains behind the Metropolitan Cybercrime Division, informs Ms. Detective that he doesn't think the Pip-Boy cyber cafe manager knows much about the operation. He explains that he probably sympathizes with Paperboys and shares that he had lost his job after ending up in a hospital, despite working twice as long as the others to be hired permanently. A similar story to Okuda's. Nobita calls the police to leave a tip about Paperboy, revealing that he works with them. He explains that people think they want to punish bad people online. Before he can say more, Okuda comes up to him and asks for the phone. Nobita admits he got scared, but promises he didn't reveal anything important. Okuda only tells him that things will be over soon. In a flashback, back at an illegal garbage dump site, the group talks about what they want in life. Karnsai repeats wanting to be a rock musician. Nobita wants a girlfriend. Metarbo wants to eat sushi that doesn't come from rotary sushi shops, and Okuda wants real friends. They don't reveal Hayuro's dream. We find him next dying because of kidney failure. Hayuro admits that he didn't know how costly it'll be to come to Japan, so he sold one of his kidneys. When he dies, their boss throws a shovel on top of his body and tells them to bury him. In anger at the inhumane treatment, Metarbo takes the shovel and hits their boss with it. Before he can do further damage, the group takes one hit each. They burn the shack with their boss body in it, while saving Hayuro's. This is when Okuda proposes if they want to make a difference. For their 6th and last video, Paperboy reveals the objective. He reveals that there are 4 of them, and because of their punishment, innocent people were arrested. He acknowledges that they seek refuge on the internet as saviors, and must be punished as well. He discloses that they will be committing suicide in 24 hours, which will be streamed. Meanwhile, the detective partner declares that he found Paperboy's location, which is in Pip-Boy's cyber cafe in Yokohama. The police rush to go. Karnsai is working for the Pip-Boy cyber cafe in Yokohama. Okuda passes by, and this time, he signs off the cyber cafe's log sheet with his real name. The police pass over them as they're driving away. The Public Safety Division finally identifies the group, and what they think is their true intention, which is to send a message. They find Karnsai disappear on his first day of work at the Pip-Boy cyber cafe. Metarbo worked under the command of Mr. Justice. They also established Nobita as the anonymous caller. At Okuda's former office, his former boss and colleagues pretend they don't know who he is. Ms. Detective is leaving when the janitor tells her that Okuda was taken away in an ambulance after vomiting blood and fainting. He confesses that he felt bad for Okuda and was about to speak ill of the company, but decides not to finish the thought. Investigating further, she finds out that Okuda had no health insurance when he was taken to the hospital and had to pay for it himself. The nurse discloses that he was always on time with his payment. She then goes to one of the job agencies where a guy in glasses tells her that Okuda came for an interview, but he declines remembering him. Outside, she walks up to a couple of people to ask them what a person does if they can't find a job in the agency. They direct her to the man who had hired the group. He tells her that he doesn't remember Okuda and declares that he offers jobs to a lot of people, most of whom are illegal immigrants. The Metropolitan Cybercrime Division, with the help of the Public Safety Division, looks into the Nelson Cotto name that was often used when Paperboy uploaded a video. They find Hayaro's Filipino mom, who worked in a bar that hired foreigners. During her time there, she was intimate with one of the members of the House of Representatives. After admitting that she's pregnant, he disappeared. They assume that Hayaro's father is the one controlling Paperboy. By the beach, Okuda informs the others that it's time to put their plan into action. Carnsai claims that it's the most satisfying moment of his life. Metarbo comments that he has become sentimental. Carnsai only smiles and announces that they should do something great. While walking, he teases Nobita, who's still having an umbrella gifted to him by a waitress. During her investigation, a man wearing a large backpack approaches Ms. Detective to let her know that he knows a little about the group, informing her that they got a job together, but then disappeared. He leads her to a man wearing sunglasses, who denies knowing anything at first. He eventually gives in and mentions that the group worked together at an illegal garbage dump site that was burned down a year ago, and that they all escaped. Since the Public Safety Division has been right about the suspects from the start, they follow the lead that Hayaro's father is the one controlling Paperboy. They raid the printing factory they think the group's staying at, but only find Hayaro's father trying to eat ramen in the cold, dark room. He had to close the printing factory due to technical complications and had no connection whatsoever with the others. Before doing anything, Metarbo asks what one must do in case they don't die. They chuckle, and Okuda tells him to blame those who died. He pulls out a phone and slips it inside Nobita's thing without him knowing. In their last broadcast, Okuda as Paperboy admits that their last objective was to gain sympathy. He shows the camera a capsule that contains a small amount of potassium cyanide, which is enough to kill a person. They take off their masks to show their identity. Okuda pulls out the rest and hands them over to the others. They swallow even Nobita, who's been having second thoughts after developing a romantic connection with the waitress in the restaurant the group has been meeting at. Ms. Detective and her group arrive too late at the burned-down shack in the illegal garbage dump site, where Okuda and the others had decided to end their lives. The police check each of their pulses, and it seems only Okuda is dead. The rest are still alive. After examining them, Ms. Detective finds Okuda holding a phone. She takes it and watches the video that Okuda addresses to her. In the video, he asks Ms. Detective to retrieve Hayaro's body and surrender it back to his father. He tells her of Hayaro's story and how he wants them to meet even though they'll never know of each other. It turns out their real objective was to cause a disturbance, enough for the police to investigate everyone's identity and find Hayaro's father, which is why they used Hayaro's name. The video cuts to Hayaro's video of the night where Okuda is asking everyone what their dream was. Hayaro talks about wanting to find his father. He tells Okuda that once he does, he will call him Dad. There's a childish glee on Hayaro's face as Okuda interviews him. He asks if Hayaro is not mad at him for abandoning him. Hayaro thinks for a moment, but denies this. He reiterates that he'll find his father and call him Dad. Furious, Ms. Detective yells at Okuda's body and asks him if that's the only thing they wanted, why they didn't ask for help. While hugging Okuda's body, she maintains that it's still worth living in this world. She cries. The others wake up at the hospital, and the police play them a video taken by Okuda where he's threatening them to agree to his plan. They ended up blaming Okuda for what happened, even though the guilt can be seen on each of their faces. The movie ends with the full scene of what happened in the video. Without their knowledge, Okuda recorded them, admitting that he planned everything. It was a ruse because he meant the surprise birthday celebration he planned for Metarbo and not the actual plan as Paperboy. But this was enough for the group to plead innocent and continue on with their life. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.